Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the FOMC meeting minutes. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay. Welcome everybody. We are streaming this trade room. So let's get started. So here's what I think. So I do think we know that this has been a pretty weak performing report as of late. Let's take a look at the DMM. Does it tell us enough? Let's see. It does. So you can see we've had 4 cancellations out of the last 6 meetings. And then we had that giant tariff meeting. And we used very, very big MES settings. Today, we're just going to use fairly normal ES settings. So very honestly, the risk on this trade is if we get a fairly big move, then it will stop out the trap. That's the concern. But when you look at the notes, we just haven't had a fairly big move on this report in quite a long time. Quite a long time. So I'm going to go with a 15 and 27 on the tiers. It's a trap trade, and that's the way I'm going to trade it. I'm accepting responsibility, certainly, that it could be a difficult trade, because if it moves a lot we could and doesn't reverse, that will damage the trap. It's not the history of the report. Actually, in all honesty, the recent history of the report is that it hasn't been filling. So it's very difficult to go to a huge setup when it hasn't been filling. So I'm going to go 15 and 27 with a stop at 20. 15 and 27 with a stop at 20. It's a trap trade. We're going to trigger at 13:59.55. The stop is 20. And then the tiers, the orders above and below the price, 15 and 27. Did I say 25? I'm doing 15 and 27. I'm labeling it Trap ES. I'm trading it in my good prop account. I think either we get a good fill or we get a no fill. So triggering at 13:59.55 because it's a 2 o'clock event. Tiers of 15 ticks and 27 ticks gives us a zone of safety of 47 ticks. I'm just thinking that the minutes are not going to have complete agreement on every comment they make, and it's going to lend itself towards up and down movement. So that's what I'm doing. Apply it and okay it. I will set up. Now, because it is considered a very risky report, I'm thinking about trading it in my most troubled account because, I want to be smart about my best of the best account. This is not a best of the best. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Trade it in because my most troubled account had a nice oil trade today and got full profit on the oil report. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it the old shot. So I'm just going to update the account. Chart trader goes on the correct account. And then I'm also going to set up a reverse continuation extra strategy on the chart on the ES because that's the trade, the main trade. And we'll do a 20 tick target and we'll do a 25 tick stop. You can certainly trade MES on this if you want to lower your risk. If you just don't feel like, it's not been a well behaved report, so you could trade low risk. So my reverse continuation is just 20 tick target, 25 stop, one position. And that's the same account as our main trade. So we've got two ES setups. And we haven't really had a lot of significant movement from other instruments on this report. I think what I'm going to do is watch. I like watching gold, and I like watching bonds when the Fed is up to its shenanigans. Gold was up $30 early this morning, and now it's $29.80. I'm just curious, has gold been consolidative all day, or do we just happen to turn it on where it's similar? Oh no, it got very bullish. It got very bullish overnight. So gold really took off at 8 o'clock this morning. It's really started taking off 7:30ish, it looks like. 7:30ish. But right now it's in a fairly consolidative mode at the moment. This is not my favorite time of day to trade gold. It's just not. So we have our ES set up, two setups. We've got the reverse continuation and we've got our trap trade. And then let's take a look at the NQ at the moment. NQ was very negative this morning, and then it really got quite bullish for a while. So it had a very hefty sell-off after the open. And wow, did we miss our opportunity on that open this morning. We knew it was going to test the low. What we didn't know was that it was going to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. We kind of just Missed the VWAP on that one. But it has pulled up quite a bit from the low. I mean, really, it's had quite a big pull up. From the low, it's pulled up 1,000 ticks. It's 250 points, right? 4 into 1,000 is 250 points. Quite the bullishness. So I think I'm going to watch the NQ for after the news. Let's put a reverse continuation, NQ. And we'll just put a single contract and we'll do a 50 tick target. And we'll do a 50 tick stop. And this would be a potential, maybe a scalp, maybe after the news. But more interested, really, obviously, in watching the trap and see if we can get a positive trade out of the trap. That's what we'd like. So we'll label that NQ, reverse continue, apply it, okay it, put the chart on the account we're trading on, turn it on. So we are ready. We've got an NQ reverse continuation easily turned on with a instant short or an instant long button, and we've got our trap trade. Let's go over the settings again. So it's a 2 o'clock event, so we're going to trigger at 13:59:55. Our stop is 20. Tier 1 is 15 ticks. Tier 2 is 27. And it's pretty simple, straight ahead little setup. 2 orders above the current price, 2 orders below the current price. That's what creates your tiers. And we always joke, I hope they're not real tiers. Anybody have any questions about the setups? And then let's take a look. What happened in January? I don't even think, I don't think there's really a video that shows, look at the DMM. There's not much activity on this report. I don't have the April video. Not sure why, but no April video. The May video was a cancel. July was a cancel. January, let's see what happened in January. All right. So back in January, we had our ES set up, we had a micro gold set up, and we had an MNQ set up. Our setup was extremely similar to what we have today, pretty much the same. And there was enough of a move to fill us, and that was about it. So it goes down and fills us long, and then you've got a reversal right there, and then the reversal chops a bit. What you want to do in this situation is, as soon as you feel the reversal has truly taken place, if it has only filled one tier, one order, then you notice your second order is still there on the chart, and it's in the way of the stop if you wanted to move your stop into safety. And that's why we have a button called the cancel outer tier button. So if you get a reversal that starts to take place and only one tier, one order has filled, you can cancel the outer tier so you can move your stop to safety. If you did nothing and you walked away from your computer during a trap trade and only one tier filled, if it hits your first target, everything would then close on its own and the trade would end. You only have to worry about that outer tier if you're going to manage the trade for extra profit. So January, you could see it really didn't do a great reversal. It filled, then it scared us, right? Because it then filled the second tier after 2 minutes. And then it did a small reversal and we took it. And we could have taken more. And we could have taken much more. It wound up being a pretty darn good reversal. So, and really, when you look at the history of this report, not counting April, and the reason you're not counting April, because April was an anomaly because of the month that the original tariffs were announced. Remember how crazy the markets got that week. Um, so that was a big, big move that was an anomaly because of the tariffs. Then the markets pretty much went back to normal for this report. And normal on this report is cancel. 4 out of 5, we'll say. The reason I'm saying 4 out of 5 and not 4 out of 6 is I'm not counting the anomaly month. So there's really no reason to expect an anomaly today. It's not expected. Now, Google is announcing their new phones today. I can't think of anything more horrific than having an event hosted by Jimmy Fallon. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? He's so phony. I just think the guy is so phony. I mean, I just don't understand what the attraction is to having him host that event. I just don't see it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, who? Exactly. You got to have somebody technical hosting that. Someone who knows, a lot about the phones, I would think. I'm interested in the Google, the 10 Pro Fold, but they probably won't do a very good folding phone. I don't have much faith that their folding phone will be anywhere near as good as the Honor version 5 or the Vivo X Fold. Even the Samsung 7 is a pretty decent fold, other than the fact that it's got a bad charger. They don't even include a charger, but it's slow charging, 5 year ago charging. Um, what else? There were a bunch of things that they did wrong. Mediocre cameras compared to all the other folding phones. The best software. The one thing that Samsung has on their phones, they have the absolute best software. Everybody, Calvin, that's funny. Everybody agrees. All the tech people agree that Samsung has the absolute best phone software. Not counting Apple, because we're just talking Android. Talking Android. Apple has no competition. They are the only operating system, and it's well considered that Apple's iOS is a very good operating system. Very good. Apple has other issues, you know, no AI, minimal AI, when everybody's running rings around them with AI. Apple screwed up big, big screw up with AI. And you have to say, if you look at phones, the phone market, the Android market is much more exciting and fun, feature laden, whereas Apple used to be the leader. Apple now pretty much follows, rarely has a new feature that someone doesn't already have. Now, in the old days, come on, Apple invented the darn phone. Apple invented the iPad, and now they're pretty much just followers. But what they do have is silicon. They have phenomenal chips. So it's interesting. The technology is interesting, but it's a tough market. The phone market's pretty mature these days, but I want a folding phone. And it's probably going to have to be a Chinese phone because they're the best. There is not an American or Samsung that comes close to the features of the Chinese phones. Well, there are very few American. Apple doesn't have a folding phone. Supposedly they're coming out with one. Um, I guess Google's an American company, so they're the only. Is there another American company with a folding phone? Not that I can think of. OnePlus is not American. And the Google, it's decent, but it's just not quite up there. No, I haven't seen the specs on the new one though. But their cameras are considered top of the line. Really good cameras. But I'm not a big photographer, so I don't even know why I don't even know why I want a folding phone. I like the multitasking a little bit. I probably should just get a blue phone for $99 and just forget the whole deal. All right, we got 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes. What kind of phone do you have? Type in what brand name phone are you running? Alan? Okay. Sammy? Running a Sammy? Who else? I guess Alan's the only one with a phone. No one else has a phone. I just got a text from a Nigerian scammer. He's in love with me. There was a case. Um, there was a recent case where a guy got an email or a text from a scammer, and they told him that his bank account was compromised, and he needed to send them like $20,000 in Bitcoin. And when he couldn't send them Bitcoin, they said, "Okay, well, go get some gold bars." And the guy went out and got 100,000 in gold bars. I mean, you got to have something seriously mentally wrong with you if you're gonna give. And then someone they didn't know came to pick up the gold bars. I mean, oh my God, the things that go on in this world with scams, it's beyond belief. The things that people fall for, it's incredible. Gold bars, that's outrageous, outrageously crazy. But the scammers are good though. I mean, I got an email from PayPal. It really, it fooled me. It fooled me. It looked real. It was one of the best scam emails I'd ever received. Usually they have the weird return address, or now they don't do that anymore. All right, so we've got a little more than a minute to see if we can get a tradable move out of this that gives us a nice profit. That's what we want. A tradable move that changes direction and lets us profit on the change in direction. Yeah, I got one from Facebook today too, Calvin. It was a dating scam, which is one of the most common. The dating scams never end. All right, here we go. Orders are going to show up. There's our orders. Now, if it just does nothing for 30, 40 seconds, now I think it's going to move. I think it's going to move. Now, to cancel a trap trade, you have to do it with the enabled button in the control panel. If for any reason you want to cancel it, you should cancel it. Uncheck the X. Doesn't look like we're getting much movement. Not much movement. Usually a minute is about as long as I'm going to give it to give us a fill. So we're at 55 seconds, folks, and there's just not a response that's all that big. I'm going to let this baby go. I'm going to cancel the trap. It's just not a move. Not you need It's right where the price was when the orders came on. I'm not dying to be filled long because there's a downward trend in the ES today, but it's a minute and a half, there's no fill, and you really just have a report that is just not impactful on this market at the moment. I mean, it is the way it is. It's like 5 out of 6 that have had very minimal impact. And there's just not a trade. There's no trade here. Hey, Maureen, how are you? So now it looks like it might fill to the long side if it goes down a little further. But I don't really like to wait 2 minutes on a trap. What we may have here is a small trend to the downside, but we don't really have what appears to be a great trend. Okay? So I'm going to take a short here and see if we can get a test of the VWAP. That's what I'm going to do. See if we can get a test of the VWAP. Or more. Bringing my target down and I'm bringing my stop down. So now I'm going to trail as price goes down. All right. I'm going to expand my target even more and trail. I'm at the VWAP. I'm below the VWAP now, top of the candle. I want to make my target even bigger because the market doesn't like this news. Doesn't like the news. Might as well trail. Now, I might have gotten a little bit too close to the price. So I'm not going to. Okay. That was a $300 trade. That's $600 we made on the last 2 trades on this account. So I did a lot of account saving on this account. That was a quick $300. So I'll show the video because I want to explain what I did. We had a very strong downward trend in the squeeze. I noticed out of the corner of my eye the NQ was selling off also. It did not appear that this was a good trap. The market was bearish before we got here. I didn't want to be filled long, so that was an impetus to also cancel the trap. And it just had high volume also. Look at the volume to the downside, really picked up. So that was a trade where turning off the NQ, I guess I'm going to turn. Well, we don't really have anything that needs to be turned off. The reverse continue was really a continue, and it was a great setup. That was a great setup. Let's look at the video. Let me save the video. And let's take a look at what happened. So, see if I can talk through it a little bit. So the Fed is still saying full effective tariffs could take some time. And I'm sure the market doesn't love that. All right, so here's what happened on the trade. So 2 o'clock rolls around and our orders go on the chart. 2 orders above the price, 2 orders below the price. The orange arrow is the current price at the time at the time the orders went on the charts. Okay, so the trap did nothing. We had a pretty strong downward trend in the ES before the news. that made me think it might not be best to get a long fill on the trap. So I didn't want to be filled long. If it would have filled in 30, 40 seconds, I probably would have let it fill. But it clearly wasn't looking like it was going to. Had the price moved up and filled me short, I would have been very happy about that because I felt that there was a downward trend here. It just the market had that look. The squeeze was pushing. There was over 100 ticks of downside movement prior to the news. And then it just really failed to move up worth of anything. It chopped. Really, the truth is it chopped. Normally, like I said, I'll give it a minute on a trap trade. We want a reasonably quick move on a good trap trade. The best trap trades generally give you a good move and then reverse off that move. This one really just hung around. We canceled it, and then I noticed the squeeze was very red. There was no upward movement. I just thought VWAP. We're going to get a test of the VWAP here. That seemed like a pretty reasonable shot, especially as it started pushing. So that's why I did what I did. So I took a reverse continuation, pressed the button right now, waited a little bit long, and I noticed also the MNQ. The NQ was selling off strongly on the right, and I really thought for sure we'd get that ES test of the VWAP, and then it happened really fast. I expanded the target because I want to get my stop into safety and start trailing. And we just made it, got the stop into safety. Now you're expanding the charts, moving them up so you're able to keep expanding the target. And you could have done the same thing on the MNQ or the NQ if anybody had been trading the NQ. It's not easy to scalp two different markets at the same time. I don't normally do that. But that was a pretty good ES scalp. That was a good ES scalp. The market really cooperated. And looks like we got out very close to where we should have. So it's the ES futures, the mini SM, it's the S&P futures. The Ninja Trader symbol is ES space 09-25. It's a future. So we trade futures. Now it probably moves similar to the SPY. For instance, 300. That was a full $300. One contract. That was a one contract trade. So it was just a good opportunity to take a continuation. That's all it was. And now, I think for me, that's the opportunity is done. For me, that's the opportunity. Now, I do want to thank everybody that's watching us on YouTube. I posted a link in the YouTube channel that we're having our 3-day challenge next week. It's free, and the classroom link is posted, and it's also posted in the trade room for everyone. If you want to sign up for the challenge, you can sign up now. And the classes are next week. It really will be a lot of great education. All right. Any questions, folks? So that was our last event of today. A good reverse continuation. We canceled the trap because it just didn't really respond fast enough to give us an opportunity. And the market was pushing down. It was somewhat negative. I think the market still looks more negative than positive today. All right. So watch your email. We've got Walmart scheduled for pretty early tomorrow. The room. I'll probably keep the room. If you're going to trade the flash manufacturing, the challenge is coaching, Maureen. It's 3 days of incredible education about our whole system. That's really what it is. It's constant teaching for the whole challenge. If you want to learn honestly about what we do and how we do it, yeah, it will be recorded. Yes. You just happened to join at the right time. That's the truth. Because it's free. It's free. We don't charge for it. What I was going to say, folks, before I forget, if you're going to trade the French or the German flash manufacturing, I will be sending the DMMs. Those are trap trades. Okay? They're better as traps, and they're good as traps. They're not breakouts right now. They've changed their quality. So they're family money trades as trap trades. Okay. All right, everybody. So we'll be back tomorrow morning pretty early. I'm probably going to keep that Walmart early room, so we should be here at 6:30. Worst case scenario, 8 o'clock for unemployment, but you know I will email if I change the schedule. Probably not. Okay, everybody, I'll see everybody in the morning. All right. Phil, that screen name just kills me. Okay, I'll see you all later. Thanks, Francis. See you all later. Our time I'm East Coast. It's 2:14 in the afternoon, Maureen. So wait, so we're like what, 12 hours from you? It sounds like. Yeah, 12 hours from you. So that's not bad. That's easy to keep track of. That's easy to keep track of. Yeah, so we're in the PM. We're afternoon. You're in the morning. Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a good rest of the day. And everybody, I'll see you tomorrow morning. So good night. Good night. Good afternoon. See you later. Nice nice meeting you, Maureen. I hope you enjoyed here.